Hi there, my name is Huzaifah. My student ID is C372762A. And my GitHub username is HuziBDX3. So this is assignment demo for the 2D railway simulation project, which is this right here. And in this video I will show the program running, show the important parts of the code, explain how each feature works, and I will be explaining how I used AI tools. So I used AI tools such as ChatGPT to help me understand Java syntax, fix bugs and errors, and help me structure the command handling. But I do understand all my code fully, and I am able to explain how my method works, how commands are processed, how loops and exceptions work, and how inheritance is used. So requirement 1. Requirement 1. So OOPRailway sim.jar properly added to the project, and its latest version shown in your project structure. So we have done this. So my project uses a jar file which is called OOPRailway jar sim. OOPRailway sim.jar. And this library will give me the main simulation classes such as the locomotive, carriage, game world, and OOPRailway sim. So my main class is the my railway, which extends the OOPRailway sim. So this basically means that my class inherits all the simulation features from the library, so I won't have to build everything from scratch. So my main method, so the program starts from, if I can go back up to it, starts from over here. So public my main program starts over here. So public static void main string args, then my railway. So this simply creates the program and starts everything. And in my constructor, I set up the world, made the GUI visible, and create 2 locomotives so the simulation starts and is ready to use. So for example, when I start this up, if it starts, there you go, perfect. And I type in about. So this will pop up. It will show the project info, my name, and the version details, which in this case is version 1.94. This is done by using the display message method. So if we go back to over here, so we've basically done all this which is displayed over here. As you can see, about command works, and I typed in to the text field. And it's going on to requirement 2, which is the command support, which is worth 20 marks. So when we type in start, it should start the command. Starts the railway. And if you type in stop, it will stop the railway. And if you add a new loco, let's just start this. So we're gonna try add a loco in that corner. So if you add a loco, add loco, for example, x-axis 4, y-axis 3, enter, a new loco will be added, and if you start it, it will work. And if you add carriages, so attach carriages, and we'll do, for example, number 1. As you can see, the number 1 has got an extra carriage, which in this case works. And if you do detach carriage, and we load number 1 again, you can see, if you look carefully, you will see it will go from 2 down to 1 carriages. As you can see, it's dropped that carriage back, and now it's left with 1. And if you change the speed, for example speed number, let's just do 20, you can see that the speeds have increased for the rest of the locals. And if you type in reset, it won't work, but it will stop the carriages from moving, which is the same as the stop. So if you go back to here, so the start command works, stop command works. Adding the locals, x-axis, y-axis, which we did before, add local 4 to 3, yes it works. And we've tried it as well. Showing you can't explain our process, which works. So if you go over here, so we're able to start the command, which you've done. We're able to stop the command, which you've done. Add the local x-axis, y-axis, showing your code and explain how you did this. So if you go back on our IntelliJ, as you can see over here, these are where we can add the locals. For example, x-axis 4, y-axis 3, and the x-axis 4, y-axis 8. So we're able to create the locals over there. If I can highlight this, so therefore the answer is a yes too. We've tried this as well, so we've run this and we've shown in the code and explained it, which we've tried when we added a extra local. We've attached a carriage. For example, we attached the carriage to local number 1, and it ended up giving 2 carriages in total. And we did detach the carriage, so for detach carriage local number 1, so replace the local with the number 1. So from 2 we went down back to 1, which yes it works. And so we've done detached carriage, so remember we had 1 over there, so from 2 it went down to 1. So over here we added 1 carriage, and over here we took away 1 carriage. And over here, so if you go back to our IntelliJ, as you can see over here, it shows that the carriage detached from the low code and the number it will show, which is all of this over here. And if you type in an incorrect one, it will come up with the error message. So therefore that is a yes as well. That's a yes. We've tried this speed, we've tried it. So we've tried doing the speed where we increased the speed to 20, and yes it worked. And going to this one, the speed, which is over, if I can find it somewhere, right over here. So as you can see that once you've done the speed, it'll set to new speed. For example, we did 20 there, and it increased the speed. So therefore that's a yes as well. And we tried doing the reset command, but unfortunately it didn't work for us, so therefore our answer is no. Anyways, going back to, so requirement 3, validating command. So reports invalid commands, type xxx and it shows report that is invalid command, showing your code that it detecting an invalid command and explain it does. So if we type in anything random xxxx, so it's shown invalid command, error message pop up, so invalid command xxxx. And going back to our IntelliJ, so therefore the answer is a yes, it works. And it's going on to here. So what we're going to do is add local, but without the x-axis and y-axis. So if we do add local, enter, There you go, it will show that you're missing the x-axis and y-axis, so therefore a new local will not be added. So that answer is a yes as well. And if you do a add local 1b 1 for b, sorry, so add local 1 for b, it still won't work, as it says cannot place vehicle on non-existent track at position 1 to 4. So therefore that doesn't exist, and we've also got a let in there, which is another reason why it doesn't work. So we'll try that again. Local, we'll do form b, and my error message will come up again. So therefore the answer is a yes too. Going on to the next one. Bound parameters, for example, you could show that you can't set a speed of a local that doesn't exist across. Okay, so over here we're gonna add in a local which is out of bounds. So we'll do add local -150 coordinates out of track bounds, meaning that is not within the track range, so therefore the locals will not be spawning in. So that's requirement. So we've done requirement number 1, number 2, number 3, and it's going on to requirement number 4, exception handling. So over here I try catch blocks to stop the crashes. For example, I'll be adding invalid locomotives, attaching wrong IDs, and detaching errors. If something does go wrong, the program will show an error message instead of crashing. For example, if I do attach carriage 999, so attach, sorry about that, this will pop up eventually. Cannot add carriage locomotive number 999 doesn't exist, meaning that we haven't got a carriage, sorry, we haven't got a locomotive number 999, so therefore it wouldn't work. So therefore the answer is a yes. So anyways, going back to requirement number 4. So requirement number 4, exception handling. So over here, so we'll type in a position such as x-axis 0, y-axis 0. So we'll try adding a locomotive onto 0, 0, and we are expecting to get an error message. So as you can see, cannot place vehicle on non-existent track at position 0, 0, meaning that that does not exist. So therefore the answer is a yes. Going on to the next one, handles other game exceptions in all commands such as attaching carriages to non-existent locals. Show exceptions you have taught in your code and explain why. So if we try, for example, attach, so if we try that, so in total, bear in mind we've got only 4 locals. Sorry, we've only got 3 locals. And if you type in enter, locomotive 909 does not exist. And of course, we can see that as we've only got 3 locomotives which are on the track at this moment. So therefore, that's a yes as well. The next one is detects that a loco derailed and report it to VIA dialog box to the user. This illustrates, for example, of where exceptions should not be used, because it is normal and not exceptional behavior. Showing your code where you detect this and explain it. So if we carry on this and we do derail, Anyway, so what we're gonna do now is try to derail one of these. So if you go onto this, so it's not normal, so detects a low code that has derailed and report it to via a dialog box to the user. So go back onto here. So what I'm going to do is derail number 1, and as you can see it displayed local 1 derailed, and as you can see it has happened. So that stopped, and of course that just can't go straight past through, so that stopped it as well immediately. So therefore the answer is a yes as well. And it's carrying on. So requirement number 5. So I've created a new class which is called new local, which was over here, new local, and this will extend the local motive. This is inheritance again, but for custom type of behavior. So my new local will move much slower and automatically as I've set it to a low speed in the constructor. For example, as you can see over here, toString, it will show the ID and the position and the type of locomotive. And so if we go onto here and we do add slow local, so as you can see the difference this time is we haven't just done add local, we've done add slow local. Slow local, we'll do x-axis 4, y-axis 3, enter. As you can see that's moving very slow compared to how fast these are moving earlier on. So therefore the answer is yes as well. So as you can see, so anyways, going on to requirement and final inheritance. So what we're going to do is the about. So if you go over here and type in about, this will pop up. So what it will display the name, the version which is 1.94, the object oriented programming component 2. It will show the coursework by me, Huzaifah, and that does work. So the answer therefore is a yes. A new class called new local that extends local and should override toString to display new local. So we have done that as well, which is, as you can see, all this here. It does extend to the other local, which public class new local extends to locomotive. So this will extend to the other, this over here. So therefore the answer is yes as well. And so we need to add the ability to store the local ID inside new local, store it and make it to string output the ID position. So if you go back to IntelliJ, as you can see over here, it shows the new local's ID and it shows the position, which is what we are looking for. So therefore the answer is a yes as well. And if you do add slow local, so add slow local with the x-axis 4 and 3, you will see that this moves very slow compared to the other type of locals. Now just give it a moment, let it just go a little further. I will add a normal local to show you the speed difference. You can see that difference of speed they are moving. So if I stop it, look how close they have gone already. So that was there before and that was all the way around the corner, and look how close they have gone already. So which therefore the answer is a yes as well. And carrying on with requirement number 6. So over here what I have done is each time a locomotive gets added, it will show a counter of the total locomotives there are. So if I go back onto here and I type in add loco, let's just restart this. Okay, so if I go on to here, linking back to requirement 6, what I said was so the requirement is do something you haven't asked for 20 marks. So this is a lot of marks right here, which I can't miss out, obviously. So what I've done is I have added a counter to show the total amount of locomotives there are. So each time you add a locomotive, it will show the total amount of locomotives there are, including the one that you've added on. So for example, there are 3 right here. So if I do add loco, so let's just start this real quick. Let's speed it up to speed up the process. Stop. So if I do add loco 43, there you go. A pop-up comes up saying total locomotives added 3, so there's 3 in total. And to show you again, but this time it'll be 4 in total. So if you start again, add loco 43. Now another pop-up which came up, so I will do it again as I've gone out of it too quick. Start, stop, add loco 43. There you go. A total of 5 locomotives have been added onto the track simulator, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, the third requirement, which I have done myself and I've picked out myself, does work, and there is nothing wrong with it. So this concludes my assignment demo, and I've shown how the program works, how each command are handled. I've shown the validation and error handling, inheritance with new loco, and I've added extra features towards the end, which I've just shown you right now. And thank you for watching.